YouTube, welcome back. Yeah, I'm recording quite a couple of videos in one day. Interesting. Well, this game, we're doing phase rush, and I have a phase rush build. It involves stride breaker actually. We'll go into why, but so what do we have? You know, the typical things you would take from if you want speed. Probably Gathering Storm. You could change that for water walking if you want, and then change this conditioning to bone plating, and you have good cheese early game, right? But I chose scaling mostly because I don't think Darth does anything in the first 10 minutes. He's kind of just a useless champion, unless the enemy makes a huge mistakes. Then yeah, he can be kind of aggressive. Assuming they make a big mistake. But even then, if they make a huge mistake, a jungler can just gank and fix everything. And even if they die, they just TP back to lane and have more EXP than you because you have to walk back to lane. So there's still plenty of things. And that just makes me think, what's really the point in fighting early? Makes no sense. So I go for a cheetah recall, and I get a call. Yeah, I believe in the CS game. Mostly because, like, if I can't kill my laner that many times, I need to do another way of getting ahead. Perhaps out CSing him and trying to really funnel down on that. But eventually they will get frustrated enough, and then they will actually fight me, knowing that they're not gonna win the CS game because I'm just better than at that. They'll try to fight me, and then we can start doing. We can start picking their plays out and see what we can do in terms of outplaying them through the mistakes they're doing in their plays because of their frustration of not being able to fight me early game. So let's see. So Jax is now with the minion wave advantage. He does that little auto W. Maybe he's looking for an opening. That might miss my Q onto him. Although I was going for the minions.
Want some?
So I do this just to...
Watch it.
My Q misses. That doesn't make any sense to me. I am forced to flash. I do have a potion, so I'm not completely out of the game. And I do have Dyrone's shield up with me, so I have some kind of sustain. Now, if he did jump in, you have to remember that tower range is still a thing. He would be taking a tower shot. I have unflinching, so I'd be able to react at that amount of HP because I would have full tenacity. Now I wanted to go in for that kill, but his flash and Rengar being there stopped me from doing it. But it's fine overall because I do have the CS advantage. And he has to recall, and him recalling means he's not gonna get any of these minions, and when he TPs, this wave is still frozen. It's a good little tactic I have over here. Nothing too fancy, you've probably seen it before, but it's good to reenact it and use it as a way to get an advantage. Like, it's funny, I keep like skipping forward to see what would happen, but then knowing how my games are,
I'm here to dump.
he just wants to go in. Now this might send him out of lane, although he does have potions, so I'm not too sure. Because of where Kane is, I think what I want to do is I want to push the lane as much as I can. Because it's already pushing, and Kane can come in for a gank. Although Jax doesn't even need to farm right now, he can just
Come here.
You know what? Maybe that was bad of me. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed as fast as possible. Yeah, that was bad. That was my mistake. I made a mistake there. I could make him lose a lot more minions. This is horrible. This is just bad gameplay. It's just bad gameplay. Really. At least a Q hit. At least a Q hit finally. So there is a little fix in the plays that was not working in our favor. You see, back there, I should have slow push really like slowly so that he misses as much minions as possible. I know Kane wants to do a gank and stuff, but just because he does doesn't mean I should be speeding up. because even if the gank fails, he needs to miss as much CS as possible. And I didn't instill that, so yeah, the slow push would have been a better choice. However, I did make up for it with a cheap kill, with my Q actually landing on him and getting the heal off. Get the cannon. We are 20 CS ahead with the wave crashing into us. We are definitely winning the CS game. I need to keep that freeze. It's one of the very few ways I can actually get ahead. So, and I'm looking at that skull crab once again. You already know me. So I'm just really waiting on it. Now I don't know about this part. I went Tabbies and I'm going HP. I feel like I should be getting longsword, but you know what? Okay. I swear I go for the R for the 5 stacks. R to keep my stacks alive. To get a good W off to ensure a kill. This guy is not getting he's not receiving any Rengar ganks. Apart from that one where Rengar came out of tower to make sure that I wouldn't dive him, so he did get that. But other than that, he's feeling pretty lonely and abandoned, which you should be if you're playing top lane. You need to learn how to play without a jungler. Like, yeah, you see Kane coming to my aid. That is not something I need. I don't need that. What I need is Rengar to not be in my lane. That's what I need. I don't need my jungler to gank me. I just want my jungler to gank me if the enemy jungler is also ganking the enemy top laner. I want equality. Yeah, that's what I want. I want equality. I want equality. Hey, the enemy jungler is ganking you. Then let my jungler gank me as well. What the make it equal, so that we actually know exactly who is the better top laner. I want an even playing field. But you know, this is League of Legends. That's not really what happens every single game. Every single game is actually different. But other than that, we finish Kindle Gem and go to double longsword. Nice. Let's see, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Kane going for Mopo. He's getting that red form, I think. He has Conqueror, so I believe so. I'm gonna keep the freeze up. We are closing in on a little bit of a double CS, but gotta keep the CS number up, and we can actually do that. I'm gonna go for Cleaver first, and I'll explain the build path a little later. Okay, so my build path, I'm looking for Cleaver. I'm also I already got my Tabby, so the boots are already done. I'm going for Cleaver, going for Force of Nature. Now these first two items, oh right, before I go on to that, I went in on that and unfortunately they got me, right? I tried to go in and Rengar saw that as an opportunity for fighting. So it's a little bit of a thing that can happen. You see an opportunity because the enemy made a mistake, so you ghost in and you try to go for an all-in. That could be the reason the jungler actually ganks you. So be wary of that. Unfortunately, you can't get the kills that you want. Well, anyways, with that getting out of the way, they actually took all the players. They took the entire tower. I tried to focus the Jax, but instead, how do I put this? He just queued away, and then I had to focus Rengar. I had to restack. Now, something I didn't know is his E would come back up. I mean, he wasn't using E the entire time, so it would only make sense. I didn't need to pay attention to the cooldowns and not get baited like that. But we did get a shutdown on Rengar, so that's I'd say a worthy trade, probably. Right, so we're finishing off Call, 4 stacks away. Now let's explain this build. The reason for Cleaver is because this Rage passive, it gives a base amount of flat movement speed, depending on how much carve stacks you have on the enemy champion. Knowing Dyrone and his bleed, it's gonna be it's gonna be useful. So I think it equals to about like 18, 20, something along those lines. I don't 100% know, However, you take this from Cleaver, this carve passive where it gives you flat movement speed per stack, and you get Stride Breaker that has something similar. If you do physical damage to an enemy champion, you get 20 base move speed off that as well, which is nice. And these two things stack against each other, so you get stack on top of each other. So that's great. Now we get Force of Nature in the mix, so that's number 3, and it gives you 5% move speed, 5% move speed just from building it, and if it's stacked with its steadfast passive, it gives you 10% extra movement speed. You have 3 sources of move speed coming in. Not to mention that you have Celerity and Nimbus Cloak with the Phase Rush. You're getting a lot of movement speed up in there. Then, from there, I think everything is good. If you really want more movement speed, and then I guess you probably add in PD. Personally, I wouldn't, because I feel as if PD is not really what I'm gonna need at that point. Now I need stats, or durability stats, I'd say. So I said Cleaver, Force of Nature, and Stride Breaker. That's 3 items. I already built Tabis, so that's 4 items. And then we get Randwins, which I think I'm gonna get second actually. And we end it off with, it should be Mama Mortius, but because they only have Zerath, I could actually go for a different Caulfield item, which could be Ravenous Hydra. I think Ravenous Hydra is okay. Specifically in this, because with the way their team is working, it's mostly AD. I think going more doesn't really help you that much, whereas Ravenous Hydra actually does something. But next patch, where Maw gets its buff, I think it just becomes a mandatory item if you're going through this route of a build. But if you're going Trinity Force, then there's no other reason you shouldn't go Sterix Gauge. It's just too strong of a combo together. It has to be done. Anyways, that little engage goes really well for me. I get the Zerath, but I can't get the Jin, and I can't get his name, Jax, because Jin stunned me with his W. Jax is still going too far. Kane does flash in, unfortunate, and I can't really go in on it.
Here we go.
I was also getting creep blocks, so that kind of sucked as well. Now the reason I didn't ult Jax straight away is because I didn't have that much AD. I only have a Cleaver, so I wanted to try and make sure I get a reset so that I can even potentially go for the Jin, but it was too far away. It didn't really work out. Well, I need to stack up that gold. I wanted to get this tower, but if I remember correctly, yep, the TP, and I'm not gonna stick around to find out if I'm gonna get a tower or not, because I could just die instead. Now this is a moment where your greed actually gets you killed, because after I left the tower, I went to the Grump because I wanted to get even more gold, and Kiana Cat caught me with the Zerath, so it's mistakes. But what do you guys think of that explanation, man? Because I think that's a solid kind of move speed set that you would want on Dyrus, because don't forget, this movement speed isn't like out of combat movement speed or Dead Man's Plate type of movement speed where it just stops after you get the first auto attack. No, this is consistent movement speed in combat. This is in combat movement speed, the type of movement speed Dyrus would actually want. Obviously, it doesn't really have your fan favorite Sterix Gauge in the mix, but who knows, maybe you might put it instead of Ravenous Hydra or Mom Mortius in the last section. But if you're going Sterix Gauge, I think the only mythic you should be going is Triforce next patch, so That's why I left Sterak's Gauge out of this build. But I think the build is kind of solid. You just need to get the gold for it and stuff like that. So we are pushing up against their towers, getting a lot of gold. Good. The EXP kind of needs to go up. I'm not too happy about that. I need the EXP to skyrocket. But also, something else I want to talk about this build is it has good durability as well. Because for armor, you have your Tabis and your Brandwins. And for magic resist, you have Force of Nature, which is excellent, plus a potential Mortius. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't kill Rengar down in the other bush because he just out of reach of my E. And over here, he just jumped over me and went somewhere else. I did try to kill the Zerath, but he has heal and he used it, so I couldn't get the kill, unfortunately. I did want the kill, but it's not really what happened. Now, as for this action that's going on, Kiana just... Can I reach her? Okay, Q off. Alright. How do you cover all that distance? I can't cover that distance. Well, Kiana did that one. I pressed Q just like... He got Triumph. I mean, I survived, sure, but he had Triumph. That's why he lived. I mean, he went Fleet Footwork. It makes sense, I guess. Kiana kited me really well. She just covered so much distance. I didn't know she can dash like that too many times. She has Prowler's Core, so it kind of makes sense. On the bright side, this farming thing that I'm doing is giving me good EXP. I'm level 15 now. And now we finish Force of Nature, which I think this is how you should be doing the build. It should be Cleaver or Force of Nature first. Then you get Brandwins and Force of Nature second and third. You still have the Tabis that you built first, actually. So that's 4 items in. And your 5th item should be, or 4th if you include boots as an item, not Stridebreaker. I don't think Stridebreaker should be built first. I think Cleaver should be built before that because you want to soften up your opponent first so that you can actually do damage. Because Dyrone doesn't burst anyone. He's supposed to be a champion where if you fight him for too long, he becomes from a pointless champion to an actual dangerous champion. So it's all about softening up your opponent and then hitting them with the big damage later on into the fight. Which is why Last Stand is so good. So that's the way I see it. Honestly, right now I'm just looking for money for Stridebreaker because that's the best thing I can look for. They're doing blue buff, I take it. Kiana plus star. Didn't really hit anyone. Kane went in the middle of that many champions. I'm not too sure.
Want some?
Okay. I have to roast for this one. Okay. Jax just pressed. Man, this is what you call a kiting Jax. Alright, I'm getting my... I'm trying to get 5th stack, which is too far away. And now I have to restack. I had to restack twice in that fight. Look, I'm still trying to restack. My R was expiring, I took a glance at my R and I just about got that. What a mess of a fight. It is what it is. Okay. Okay, so looking at the build, we're getting close to Stridebreaker. It's actually starting to finish. We got level 16, so this is about the time you want Stridebreaker complete. Your core items are 4 items with boots, as an additional thing. The quicker you can get to level 16 and those 4 items, the better. It's a true spike, honestly. And we're closing in on that 30-minute mark, which makes Gathering Storm become a pickaxe worth of gold. Pickaxe in a little bit, so I was gonna go for the tower, but it's not really Kiana that kind of threw me off, and Rengar ulting me for some whatever reason.
Straight
It
road.
was just in case they go into the dragon. I kind of want to be there to, you know, have a bit of impact. But it's okay. We hit the tower, take the tower down. It's 300 gold for it. It's good. I think that should be enough for Stride. Now I wanted to recall because Jax is pushing down in the bottom lane. He just got 600 gold. He got paid. But Kane is doing it instead, so we just push together as a team over here, and we have Jinx in the mid lane. It's a good little strategy we have going on.
Back off.
And we didn't even type for this one, we just did it off instinct. However, after Jinx gets that, she actually backs off, and I think that makes them collapsing on us. But Jax didn't do a full engage, it was just like a Mickey Mouse engage. That's what it was.
Back off.
What? That, yeah, it had to be. It's the best way I could do.
Get down.
Oh, my R was. I guess I get a kill in it. These plays are weird to me, man. They're so strange. Like, it has the potential to be really amazing, but it just the enemies don't really make it possible. The best I can do is like get 1 kill or 2 kills. It's not really like highlight worthy, honestly, but it is getting the job done, kind of, for a comeback. We hit that 30-minute mark, so now we are actually doing quite a lot of we have a lot of damage. Stride breaker complete. Alright, now I'm going into Caulfield Warhammer.
Get foul.
Ideally, I think you shouldn't go Caulfield Warhammer at all. The reason I went Caulfield Warhammer is because either of the 2 lost items I wanted built out of Caulfield Warhammer, so I thought it was an intelligent idea to do that. However, the actual intelligent thing to do is know which item you're going to build before that. So like that, instead of building Warhammer, you could actually build Hex Drinker if you're going for
Back off.
Mona Mortius, which would be a better component at this stage of the game. However, because of the way things were going, I did consider Ravenous Hydra, and I think I'm gonna go for Ravenous Hydra. It's a little bit more expensive, true, but it might be more worth it. And it's getting a buff next patch. Nice. Another 580. Every little helps at this point. That's all I can
Watch it.
offer. I'm so tired, but like I want to sleep, but I need to get this replay in. Oh, and there's a TP coming in from the side. All going on me. And let's the gameplay show itself. It's moments like these in these late game team fights where I really want to show what I can do. I wanted to kill. Okay, we got him. Nice. I can't do anything. Man, I really wish I had sustained here, man. What was that? What was that kind of fight? Like, his counter strike is just, it's messing me up, man. Could have fixed my stacking process there as well, but man, it just didn't go well for me. I'm looking back at everything and I'm just like, I really wish I had sustained there. Would have been nice. Like a bit of bomb event when you are someone. That sounds like a good thing. They knocked us back, but Kane was doing work. He killed Jane and he knocked them all up with the boss that I
Want some?
going in there. That's nice. That's nice. The only part I don't understand is I'm trying to press R here. Listen, I'm moving at 493 move speed. She's moving at 448 move speed. Where do you get this move speed from? I'm the one with higher move speed, but you are moving faster than me. And you only have a U moves. Like, what the fuck is going on? This makes no sense. No, I just couldn't catch it. This, the funny part is, this is me with the forcing everything active. Everything active. Because my bleed was on her and everything. Man. Our assassin's just that good. I literally would have to have Ghost there. But whatever, we have Ravenous Hydra and here we go. This is the pinnacle of the game. The moment I've been pretty much waiting for, where I have everything I need. Well, I had pretty much everything once I had 4 items, so... But yeah, this is the stage of the game where I'm trying to do my plays. And it's gonna be in a... towards the Baron. So it's gonna be a Baron fight, actually. 34 to 41. It's actually a close game. Now, I showed myself up there just to bait them to engage, and that's exactly what Rengar did. He went in, I ghosted that, and that's one reset. Now, I did something really ambitious, because there was wards over here, and I was trying to catch Kiana. There's just one thing you need to understand. Kiana is a champion that doesn't really, you know, she's not down with that engage thing. You're trying to engage on her. That's not right. That's not how things work at all. Because you try to flash in on Kiana, you try to surprise her, she's gonna go invisible and then go invisible again, and she still has mobility. So don't try to jump Kiana. That's a lesson I'm gonna try to learn now. If she engages onto your team, then that's a different story. But her invisibility is insane. But this is actually quite an insane game. I do like the finish, kind of. Not really. These plays were all scuffed, really, but we did end up pulling the victory. So GG. It was hard-fought victory, actually. So yeah. Lucky me. The game wasn't even showing on the match history, so I kind of got lucky with this post-game commentary, because I wouldn't have been able to go back and record it. So you guys got lucky with this one, I ain't gonna lie. However, with the game said and done, I do have questions to this Trinity Force Sterex combo for the next patch. Because I think it would be more AD than going Shield Bow and other AD items. Because Shield Bow gives both HP and AD a good mythic pass. Actually probably the best mythic passive there is for Darius. Just a shame it's not really an item for Darius, not intended for Darius. Like, I mean, I can say that for many of the mythic items, but I think that could be a good topic for another video, covering the mythic items. But other than that, the game it got more solid the longer the game went. It was a good display of you know, farming well and trying to stay in the game as well as you can with the cards that you're given. So yeah, I'd say overall GG. Just refine some of the mistakes, and it's looking pretty bright. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Do the YouTube usuals: like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. And watch more videos. Anyways, all my links are down in the description below as usual. Have a nice day and peace out.
Nothing but